bottom of the hairline. Keep your thumb on the comb and check that the other side is the same length. The width of the horseshoe section on top needs to be the length of the side and half again. Then we put a centre parting down the back. Let's have our first head check. Middle parting, horseshoe section on top, measure with your comb, centre back parting, and perfect your section. We take a vertical section either side of the back middle parting, which will give us a true back middle section, and neatly clip the hair either side out of the way. We are going to use a long comb as a measuring stick, and we are going to pull the hair straight out from the head, following the head shape. We pull the first section straight out from the head at a 90-degree angle to the head, and cut a rounded line where the hair is the same length all the way to the bottom hairline. We are using our comb as a measurement guide, and we have picked the length of this comb, as you will be moving on to the one length above after this recipe, and will need some length to play with. Plus, this length will prove to you that the uniform layout is not a granny grunt, and it is the salon winner we confess it to be. When you are happy with the length you have cut and are positive the hair is all the same length from the top to the bottom, we then work on our horizontal line under the horseshoe, creating T-shaped layers and our T-shaped guide. Taking a horizontal slither section using the top of the hair we have just cut as our first guide. Pulling the hair out straight from the head at a 90-degree angle, we proceed to cut a line all the way round the head, following the head shape, the very same length as our first section, using our comb as a measuring stick as we go. To make sure we maintain the same length all the way around the head as we work, take small slither sections as you go. The head rounds as you cut from the back to the sides. So the wider you take these sections as you work towards the face, the more chance you have of the hair getting longer when you reach the front. The smaller we then work on our horizontal measurement guide and vertical section either side of the back middle part, which will give us a true back middle section, and neatly clip the hair either side out of the way. We are going to use a long comb as a measuring stick, and we are going to pull the hair straight out from the head, following the head shape. We pull the first section straight out from the head at a 90-degree angle to the head, and cut a rounded line where the hair is the same length all the way to the bottom hairline. We are using our comb as a measurement guide, and we have picked the length of this comb, as you will be moving on to the one length above after this recipe, and will need some length to play with. Plus, this length will prove to you that the uniform layout is not a granny grunt, and it is the salon winner we confess it to be. When you are happy with the length you have cut and are positive the hair is all the same length from the top to the bottom, we then work on our horizontal line under the horseshoe, creating T-shaped layers and our T-shaped guide. Taking a horizontal slither section using the top of the hair we have just cut as our first guide. Pulling the hair out straight from the head at a 90-degree angle, we proceed to cut a line all the way round the head, following the head shape, the very same length as our first section, using our comb as a measuring stick as we go. To make sure we maintain the same length all the way around the head as we work, take small slither sections as you go. The head rounds as you cut from the back to the sides. So the wider you take these sections as you work towards the face, the more chance you have of the hair getting longer when you reach the front. The smaller the horizontal slither sections, the more secure you will be that the hair will be the same length all the way around the head. And of course, for double the insurance, use your comb as a ruler. Note, we move our feet and body around with our section, standing directly in front of our section as we come. Again, this will guarantee we do not over-direct and the hair will be the same length all the way around, which is exactly what we want with the uniform layout. The reason we put this slither line all the way around and underneath the horseshoe before layering the hair underneath is because this slither line will give us the perfect guide when layering the underneath of the haircut, which will give us brilliant balance, quality and speed, the perfect ingredients. Take a back middle section, lifting the hair out at 90 degrees, finger position horizontal, fingernails looking at you, and take small sections. Once you are certain the balance is the same all the way around underneath the horseshoe section, then section the sides out of the way neatly by bumping and clipping. So we now can concentrate on the back layers first. Take a parallel vertical section next to your original first back section and neatly clip the hair you are not cutting out of the way. So we have a clean view of the hair we're about to pick up and cut.
These, please.
The beauty of putting the T-shaped layer in first is now you have two crystal clear guides when you start to cut the underneath. One from the horizontal top slither cut and one from the original vertical middle cut. Please be aware that my fingernails are looking away from the head at all times. This method of your nails always looking away from the head will help you to keep layering rather than graduating. Take vertical sections pulled out straight from the head at a 90-degree angle from the head. Following the head shape, finger positions also vertical and parallel to the section you have taken below. Body position at the sides of the section you are cutting and fingernails looking away from the head. Check that you can see your guide from the original all the way around, which is exact. It's because this slither line will give us the perfect guide when layering the underneath of the haircut, which will give us brilliant balance, quality and speed, the perfect ingredients. Take a back middle section, lifting the hair out at 90 degrees, finger position horizontal, fingernails looking at you, and take small sections. Once you are certain the balance is the same all the way around underneath the horseshoe section, then section the sides out of the way neatly by bumping and clipping. So we now can concentrate on the back layers first. Take a parallel vertical section next to your original first back section and neatly clip the hair you are not cutting out of the way. So we have a clean view of the hair we are about to pick up and cut. The beauty of putting the T-shaped layer in first is now you have two crystal clear guides when you start to cut the underneath. One from the horizontal top slither cut and one from the original vertical middle cut. Please be aware that my fingernails are looking away from the head at all times. This method of your nails always looking away from the head will help you to keep layering rather than graduating. Take vertical sections pulled out straight from the head at a 90-degree angle from the head. Following the head shape, finger positions also vertical and parallel to the section you have taken below. Body position at the sides of the section you are cutting and fingernails looking away from the head. Check that you can see your guide from the original horizontal slither and the previous vertical section. Check that your fingers are pointing to the floor for right-handers and to the ceiling for left-handers. After we have taken a few sections, cross-check for peace of mind that you are going in the right direction. Take opposite horizontal sections, using your thumb to keep the hair out of the way, starting from the bottom, working up to the top of the head, looking for the hair to be exactly the same length, not getting longer or shorter. When cross-checking, we should only be checking. If there is any more hair to come off other than dust, then we need to go back to our original vertical sections to adjust. Continuity is the name of the game when layering the underneath. We are always looking for the guide from our original slither horizontal section just under the horseshoe first, and then the guide from our previous vertical section second. Having these two guides gives us double the insurance of a successful uniform layer. We work all the way around to the back of the ear. Vertical sections pulled out straight from the head at a 90-degree angle from the head, following the head shape from the top to the bottom. We take opposite horizontal sections when we cross-check the uniform layer, using the thumb to keep the hair out of the way we are not checking, starting from the bottom, working up to the top of the head. If there's any more than dust to come off, then we need to go back to our original vertical sections to cut. Let's cut the other side of the back in exactly the same fashion. The biggest mistake I see happening when coaching others on the uniform layer is the wrong body and finger position when moving to the other side. If you want to get the same balance and lengths on both sides, then you simply need to mirror what you've just done on the first side. So the method stays the same. Our body position stays at the side of the section we are cutting, but we are now opposite to how we cut the other side, with our fingernails looking away from the head so we keep layering, not graduating. Take vertical sections out straight from the head at a 90-degree angle from the head. Finger position also vertical and mirroring the section you have taken below. Double check that you can see your guide from the top horizontal section and the previous vertical section, and that you are not over or under directly. And lastly, check your fingers are now pointing directly to the ceiling for right-handers and to the floor for left-handers. After you have taken a few sections, then cross-check just to make sure you are going in the right direction. We simply want the hair to be the same length, not getting longer or shorter. Take horizontal sections starting at the bottom of the head, working up to the top of the head, combing the hair out straight from the head at a 90-degree angle from the head. Keep aware in your head, am I mirroring everything I did on the first side? Working on the whole back first and being happy with the balance and lengths will make our job easier, faster and more stellar as we then work through into the sides. We know there seems a lot of things to check before cutting. However, focusing on these checks and steps will guarantee our shape is right the first time round, so no sweating and wasting time at the end trying to balance our shape. Taking our time and getting it right at the beginning saves us bags of time in the long run and gives us a much purer and better quality finish. When we are cross-checking, we are only checking to make sure the hair is exactly the same length and the layers are rounding as we work around the head. If there is any hair to come off, we need to go back to our original vertical sections to adjust. Take vertical sections and bump the sides out of the way. Body position follows around the head. Finger position parallel to the sections. Fingernails look at you. Take sections as you work around the head and pull the hair out at 90 degrees. Unclip the sides and spray down the partings to make sure the roots around the partings melt into one another. If they don't, this will cause us dreadful problems later when polishing the haircut because of the uneven root direction. As we work into the sides and towards the front, we need to keep focused on the continuity we put in place at the back, always using our top slither guide first and then our previous vertical sections as our second guide, pulling straight out from the head at a 90-degree angle. We then cross-check just to make sure we are going in the right direction, taking horizontal sections starting at the bottom, holding the section you have just taken out of the way with your thumb and combing the hair out from the head at a 90-degree angle. That's straight out from the head. We do do exactly the same thing on the other side. So our body position will move to the other side of the head, and our fingernails will still look away from the head. As we work towards the front, the sections stay vertical. Our first guide is from the top slither section, and our second guide is the vertical section we previously cut, pulling the hair straight out from the head, 90 degrees from the head, so there's no over direction. A little bit of cross-sectioning just to make sure we are the same length right the way round from the back to the front. A classic uniform layer. Take vertical sections, body position follows the head shape, finger position parallel with the sections, fingernails looking at you, take sections as you work round and pull out at 90 degrees from their head. Firstly, comb the top hair into a centre parting, then take small parallel sections either side of the centre parting so we have a true middle top section. We need to make sure we can clearly see the guide from our very first back section. Standing at the sides, starting from the back of the horseshoe, pulling the hair out straight from the head at a 90-degree angle from the head, we check with our comb as we go, and we proceed to cut the hair exactly the same length from the back to the front.
I'm getting videoed.
We take another middle arm down the centre of the head. Now splitting the section you have just cut, we will now have two blinding guides on either side of the centre parting. Starting from the back of the head with our body at the back of the head, we can now clearly see the two guides on either side, one from the slither and one from the top section we have just cut. And we simply cut off what's in the middle of these two amazing guides. We continue this formula section by section, working towards the front of the head. Please note the last front section is pulled up square and only connected to the top section, disconnected from the underneath slither. We do exactly the same on the other side, pulling the hair straight out and following the shape of the head. Finger position parallel to the section you have taken just below. Body position now at the back, fingernails looking at you and away from the head, and simply cut off what's in the middle of these two wicked guides. Concentrate on getting a big 10 in the uniform layer first. It doesn't matter if it takes you all day, because when we are a 10, we can then work on our speed. The reason why we pull the last front section up square and only connect to the top is so we will fill in any gaps around the recession area. Take a middle section on top horizontally, cut the middle section 90 degrees, isolate the front and connect the guides. Keep the front horizontal and square. We spray the hair with some water and then add some Lee Stafford Argan Oil Nourishing Miracle Mist, just to give the hair some manageability. We dry the hair with a Denman brush, concentrating on drying the roots first. Brushing the hair one way, then another, pointing our hairdryer directly at the roots. The reason why we focus on the roots first before drying any of the mid-lengths and ends is because we need even root lift and direction when it comes to finishing the haircut. We have seen so many times a haircut looking a little wonky-donkey at the end, and no matter how long we spent polishing and snipping away at the finish, it still doesn't seem to lay right, even though it cross-checks correctly and the haircut seems to be perfect. On closer inspection, we find that the reason why the haircut looks wrong is because of the uneven root lift and direction. That's what's caused the problem, and that's why we wrap dry. Once the roots are all dry, you will find the mid-lengths are also getting dry as well. We can start to smooth out the hair and put a slight bend into the ends. We know it's tempting to get that round brush out right from the offset, but it's the cut that's important first. Once that's the governor, we can then blow the roof off the house with our creative dressing, knowing in the back of our minds that the haircut will always fall beautiful, even if left to dry naturally. which is always the sign of a great haircut and will always bring clients back for more. When we are using the Denman brush and the hairdryer, we need to control the hair, picking only the hair up we want to dry by brushing the hair we don't want out of the way. This method will take practice, persistence and patience, but the rewards will stay with you for a lifetime. Wrapping the hair around the head, concentrate on the roots first, finish the mid-lengths and ends for even root lift and direction. We take diagonal sections as we straighten, putting only a slight natural bend into the ends of the hair. We angle our straighteners the same angle as our diagonal section we have taken on the underneath, to make sure we get an even heat and straightness on the hair. The comb and the straightener are held in the same hand, so our other hand is free, so we can use our thumb on our free hand to hold the hair out of the way, so we have a clear view and are able to pick the hair to be straightened up cleanly and quickly. Because our thumb is now holding the hair out of the way, there are no need for clips, so we have no worry of marking the hair, and because there are no clips, the straightening process is faster. The comb only goes into the other hand just before we straighten, the same as when we are cutting. Hold the straighteners and comb in one hand, section and straighten the hair at a 45-degree angle. Pull the hair straight out from the head, the comb goes between the thumb and the finger. We now point cut the hair with the scissors going into the hair vertically, just to take the sharp line off the haircut and make the haircut look lived in. Once we have point cut a section, we do not point cut that section again, or we will continue to take hair away from it. Once we have point cut a section, forget about it and move on to another section and point cut. If we point cut deep into the hair, we will take away more weight. If we point cut into the hair at a 45-degree angle, we will have a much stronger textured effect. Here we are pointing into the hair vertically, 90 degrees, and are pointing just the ends, which will create a very fine, subtle texture, making the hair hug the head naturally and comfortably, like a worn pair of shoes on your feet. Point cut only the sections where you think it needs it, where you believe it's a little heavy, or where you want to create a little texture. Don't just point cut willy-nilly. Think about it. Use your eyes. Point cut to soften the shape and bring the uniform layer alive. We are applying Lee Stafford Argan Oil Spray Shine to make the hair look wealthy and healthy in its natural falling shape. Once you have nailed the uniform layer haircut with the even root direction and root lift, you can then style the uniform layer however your imagination will allow you. Go nuts creatively, we strongly advise you. Here we are simply scrunching Lee Stafford sea salt spray into the hair. Whilst I do this, my wife Jess has a lovely little technique we would like to share with you. We call it the windswept tong. Using the tong near the roots, Jess simply winds the hair from the roots to the ends. Jess is always working away from the hairline, wrapping the hair under the tongs and working from the roots to the ends. A little bit of hairspray, shape it with your fingers and bodge your uncle. I especially like Jess to do this look on me at the weekends. It's so wrong, it's right. The looks we can achieve from the uniform layer recipe are diverse, from long to short, straight to curly, on any age, from corking on the block to wet